It's back, baby. After a 2-year-long hiatus, the Audi Q3, Audi's baby Q3, is finally back. After successful launches from the Audi Q5 to the Q7 to the Q8 and even the e-tron, it was about time that Audi bought its most beloved and, well, its most compact SUV, so to say. But now in its second generation avatar over here, it's not as compact as it once was. So let's go over the changes one by one. So let's start with the exterior of the car, and in the front over here, as you can tell, it looks a lot more upmarket thanks to this brushed aluminum finish that you find around the car. It's part of Audi's high gloss styling package, which looks quite nice, honestly. You get new LED headlamps now, and in this pulse orange color, which is exclusive to the Q3 looks quite vibrant and a lot sportier than it usually did. The car has become slightly wider, not by a long shot, but slightly. Most of its growth has happened in its length. But yeah, now let's move along to the side and I'll bring you up to speed with what's new here. So along the side of the Q3, you see these very strong shoulder lines coming in over here from the headlamp and going all the way back to the tail lamp. And it looks quite butch. It makes the car look a lot more muscular despite it being Audi's most compact car. I have to say, it looks a lot more proportionate now, and in fact, I would say that it's almost as long as what the first generation Q5 used to look like. But yeah, that's what growth looks like. I guess we're moving forward and cars are getting bigger and bigger as we speak. Now, along the side over here, the 18-inch 5-spoke wheels that you get are a bit disappointing. I think these are the same ones that you find on the Audi Q5, and even on the Q5 I had the same problem, that I felt like they looked a bit too sedate, a bit too reserved. And in this sporty car, a car that looks this vibrant and this energetic, I feel like these rims are a bit of a letdown. I really hope that Audi would bring one of its dual spoke designs that it has available internationally, but it's okay. I guess we can hope for something in the future with future updates. Now let's come along to the rear of the car. Now, the rear of the car has changed quite a lot from what we've seen before. Earlier, the Audi Q3 used to look a lot more curvier, but now it looks a lot more angular and, well, a lot more butch, so to say. So if you check out the boot over here, the boot capacity has gone up, and it's still not a lot though. It's still down compared to its competitors. Of the length in this car has gone for the occupant space and not so much for the luggage capacity. Now, I really like the new tail lamp design. It's very minimal, it's very clean, and it's very Audi, so to say. Now, I like everything about the Q3's design, but what I can't digest is these fake exhausts over here. I mean, why? Why is the need to even have them over here? I get it, they look a bit smarter and cooler in terms of styling, but otherwise, it just, why Audi? Just get rid of it. It's fine, we don't really need it. But the rest of the car, all the proportions considered, I think the Q3 looks a lot more handsome now, a lot more upmarket, and it's a big thumbs up for me. The variant we're driving here today is the Technology Plus, and what you get with this variant is you get Audi's virtual cockpit, you get a phone box, which is essentially a wireless charging area, you get MMI navigation plus with MMI touch, you get ambient lighting, you get Audi's Drive Select, and you get this aluminium trim on the inside. Additionally, you get Audi's 8-speaker system. It's not the best in its class, but it's definitely the second best in its class. Second only to the one you find in the Volvo XC40. The bass is very heavy, however, the clarity could be a little better. So you get two choice of interiors over here. You get a beige and a brown. As you can see, we have the brown one over here, and the car feels quite upmarket and a lot more spacious than before. I like the overall trim, I like the soft touch materials, and I would say this car feels pretty upmarket and neat and minimal with its design. Now, space in the Q3 is significantly better than before. Audi's been able to liberate a lot more room, so you can move the seats all the way to the back, nice and comfy. The seats are quite comfortable. There's a nice little armrest over here with 2 cup holders. Overall, the back seat is a comfortable place to be, and I wouldn't say that you could carry 3 abreast over long journeys. For short stints, yes, but not for long journeys. But for 2 people, this is quite comfortable. There's a very good amount of legroom. There's a decent amount of headroom over here. So yeah, this gets a thumbs up from me. However, now I have 3 problems with the back seat, and 1 with the front also actually. So for starters, there's no USB charging sockets in the back, and given how the Q3 is majorly going to be driven by families, or given its new length and proportions, it's probably even going to be chauffeur driven, a USB charging socket would have gone a long way. Secondly, no sunshades. So that ties in with the first problem, no sunshades. Again, I'm nitpicking, but these things could have helped sweeten the deal all that much. Additionally, there's no ventilated seats in the front actually. I wouldn't expect it to be in the rear at this price point, but even in the front, that seems a bit disappointing, and it's not a deal breaker, but like I said, it would have helped sweeten the deal all that much. Now, another thing that I noticed is that the Q3 does not get memory seat functions as soon as I got into the car, which again isn't a major deal breaker, but something worth noting. Now, coming to the driving part of it. Now, this is where the Q3 really shines. It is powered by a 2-liter engine that produces about 190 horsepower and 320 Newton meters of torque. But that's not the real kicker. The real kicker is that it has quattro all-wheel drive system, which really propels this car with some vigor. Let me tell you, it accelerates quite hard. Even from a standstill, it'll shove you back into your seats with quite a lot of aggression, which I really enjoy. And it makes this SUV feel a lot more fun to drive than, say, the BMW X1 or the Volvo for that matter. I would say it drives nearly as well as the Mini Countryman. But the problem being the Countryman is just a front-wheel drive car. The all-wheel drive system really gives you that much grip. The DSG transmission on this car too, it's a 7-speed DSG, it's lightning quick, and it does a fantastic job, and it always is one step ahead of you of knowing what gear you really need to be in. Now, do I have any gripes? Maybe the fuel efficiency, which isn't the highest, but what would you expect from a 2-liter petrol engine powering 4 wheels, right? So far, and I've been driving a bit spiritedly every now and then, but it still managed to give me 8.2 kilometers per liter. I'm sure that if I drove it a lot more sedately, I could easily squeeze out up to 10, maybe 11 kilometers per liter, but I wouldn't really dream of going any higher consistently, because that's what you're getting. You're getting a performance bargain over here. And when it comes to performance, when it comes to agility, this car really shines. So this is based on the same MQB platform, and it shares its underpinnings with the Volkswagen Tiguan and the Skoda Kodiaq. Now, those cars over there seem a lot more people-focused and don't have nearly the same amount of sporty prowess that this one does. It's not a night and day leap between the two of them, because again, they're powered by the same engines, similar drivetrain, so it's not a huge leap. But this excels just slightly better. Not better enough to justify a 20 lakh price hike, but better enough if you're looking for something premium. But overall, I'm very happy with the driving experience of the Q3. And what I especially like, I think my favorite part about the driving experience were the brakes. The brakes bite so well. They stop on a dime. I mean, it really inspires a lot of confidence to go faster, because you know you can brake just that much faster and just that much harder. So brakes again get a thumbs up. Now let's talk about the suspension of the Q3. The ride quality is quite nice on most even highways and undulated highways too. It does a fantastic job. However, when you start to get to broken roads, that's when you do get a bit of noise creeping in, because the overall ambience and the NVH of the car is actually quite well contained. But when you do go over bad roads, you do tend to hear a bit of a thud, like you just heard that right now. That was nothing. It was a small bump, but you still heard it. So I would say this is not exactly the best in its class in terms of ride quality. I would say that the Volvo XC40 is slightly better than that. It does a better job of dampening these bumps. But otherwise, for most city driving and highway driving, this car is a lot of fun. And I doubt you'd ever really complain about a few minor thuds coming in every now and then, unless you're one of those finicky chauffeur-driven fellows who just does not like any noise to break your silence. Now, compared to the first generation Q3, the second generation has come a long way. It's grown in proportions, it comes with more equipment, but it doesn't really stack up to its value. Now, when you compare it to its direct rivals, the XC40 has more equipment. The Mercedes GLA and the Mini Countryman have funkier interiors. And the only rival that I see it beating is the BMW X1. Now, when you compare it to its MQB platform counterparts, the Volkswagen Tiguan has similar room, similar equipment. So, does this really justify its 20 lakh price hike over its MQB counterparts, let alone its competition? Not really. I wouldn't say so much. But if you look at it as it is and not compare it with its rivals, it's a good package. It drives really well. It handles really well. The interior is very comfortable. And the car has no downsides. It's only when you compare it to its competitors that you actually start to see some flaws. But overall, I would say that we would have to get them in a proper comparison before we can actually jump to conclusions. But from face value, the Audi Q3 over here is a really nice package. The only problem is that the competition has gotten just that much better. Thank you so much for watching, and stick around to the Top Gear India YouTube channel for further updates. This is Gavin Rodriguez signing off.